We're
now.
on Tuesday, so we're Art Bar, okay?
We're
And
Art
and,
Bar.
and on Thursdays we're Arth Bar.
Yeah, it's just a name change from now on. I'm your host, Isaac Uriz, along here with my colleague, my always co-host.
Michael Boss will do it, guys. How's it going? Hope everyone had a great spring break.
Oh man, I got sick on spring break.
Really? What
Yeah.
happened there? I know you were moving also. Hold on,
Oh yeah, totally.
let's get some light going in here
Yeah,
actually really quick.
so
Hold on, I'll be
sure.
right back. It's kind of dark in here. So.
But yeah, guys, unfortunately got sick. We're moving to Brownsville right now, not the show, just me personally. I'm fortunately staying in Edinburgh though. And Bissell, how was
What's
your spring break?
All right, hold on. Let's see if I can get this adjusted here. We're trying to record this for our YouTube channel, guys.
Yes,
So
yes.
visit us on YouTube at the
WWE underscore armbar.
WWE underscore armbar, or I think it's UTPA armbar, but it's the same thing for Twitter and Facebook. UTPA underscore armbar. Follow us on Twitter. My spring break was a little boring actually. I didn't really do much. It's because I'm a manager at my job, so I don't really get a lot of time off, and it was just kind of stressful. I did have a period where I had 3 days off in a row. My girlfriend got me tickets to the hockey game, so
Oh, that's awesome.
I went to go see that, and she hooked me up with VIP seating. So thanks, baby. I love you for hooking me up with those, and I appreciate everything you do for me. So, you know, let's see if we can get this going. Yeah, we need to get you in the shop. But other than that, I didn't really do anything. I just worked, HEB. So that was my spring break.
That sounds like fun.
That was no, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. But oh well, what can you do?
Hey man, you do run a really good HEB though.
Thanks. Yeah, I see you there all the time with you and your Novia. So I mean, that's not a surprise, because our HEB is the best, and it's the best place to shop. But man, dude, plugging HEB for only how much?
For only however much
$9.99. No, but anyway, so
all right.
time to talk about wrestling. All right, Raw was last night. Okay, and there's a lot of things to talk about on the wrestling.
Okay,
guys. I don't know what you want to start off with, Isaac.
Raw was good. It was a good Raw last night.
Raw was an okay Raw. I watched, I got to watch maybe about half of it, but
the whole segment with Sting and Triple H was actually pretty entertaining.
I actually missed that. That was the intro, right?
Oh yeah, it was fun. Sting got a good promo, but then Triple H interrupted. We got a good little stare down there heading into WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt comes out, cuts a really killer promo, amazing promo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say amazing. I thought, I was expecting The Undertaker to come out. I think the fans were expecting.
He's not showing up.
And you know what? Why not? Why doesn't Vince want to pay, The Undertaker to come out and just, Brock Lesnar's there at least once a month, The Undertaker can do it at least once before WrestleMania.
Do you remember WrestleMania 20? Undertaker didn't show up until like the day of.
Do not remember that, unfortunately, no, but it's kind of disappointment for me, though. I mean, you want to see that going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, you do.
From a fan's perspective, at least, because I mean, some of these little kids that are watching wrestling don't even know who the Undertaker is.
No,
okay, so
which is funny to me, considering the whole legacy of Undertaker is built off that streak. That's something like we were talking about earlier on the show. Is that what is the Undertaker without the streak? And I have to say this: he's still the Undertaker.
Yeah, he is. No matter what,
he still has a legacy, and he's still one of the most dominant men in WWE.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, already he should be in the Hall of Fame already.
I know.
And speaking of Hall of Fame, who's our last inductee into the WWE 2015 class? Big Sexy Diesel. He's going into the Hall of Fame. That was quite of a surprise. I actually heard about it during the day earlier, and I was like, what? I thought they were done with the inductions for the year.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Nash.
As a wrestler, I'm not a fan, or as a wrestling fan and enthusiast, I'm not a fan of his actual in-ring ability. But I mean,
he's a big dude, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of big guys in wrestling, but he had a lot of personality, and the guy oozes charisma.
He does, and the whole Attitude Era, and WCW wouldn't have launched off as big as they did without him. Guys like Scott Hall,
without Razor,
of course, Razor, and of course Hulk Hogan being the big name there, But I mean, Kevin Nash, the landscape of what we watch wrestling now would not be the same without him.
Yeah, I mean, you had the shoot style NWO promos. And,
yeah.
It stuck out to me because Scott Hall went in as Razor, but Kevin Nash is going in as Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash is going in as Kevin Nash, so that's cool that he's getting his own, I guess, name, thrown in there. But I mean, he's had a few different personas like Diesel. I forgot what other character. He was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard for a while, so. So, kudos to him. Congrats to Kevin Nash for finally getting into the Hall of Fame. The guy's kind of been retired for the past,
He comes out of retirement whenever he pleases.
Every now and then, yeah, and, whenever they want to give him a paycheck, I
whenever, they want to see him punk to loose.
Yeah, that was a couple of years back. And let's I guess not get too much into that. I mean, we miss
Yeah,
CM Punk though. All right, too bad he's not going to be headlining this year's WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan or something
He
like
probably
that.
won't ever headline WrestleMania.
Never again, unfortunately. So I mean, thanks a lot, Paul Levisk. But let's go back to Raw here. I mean, after the intro segment, I missed maybe like the first like 30 minutes. So you're actually gonna have to fill me in.
Okay, so I'm just gonna fill you in on the matches because that's all I mostly remember. I mean, you had
Yeah.
a good, um,
I mean, I remember like the Divas match. I remember.
yeah, that, that went for
know,
15 minutes longer. It was a good match.
I mean, give Divas a
The
chance, right?
crowd got invested into it.
They did, and the fact I didn't really get to pay attention to what happened towards the end, but I know that AJ Lee and Paige were just fighting
Yeah,
and
I
going
mean,
after each other. What's to do with
it's
that?
a
Like,
screwy finish, like
is it
it
like
always is.
is it the frenemies, thing where they're just not gonna, interact or coincide together again? I guess because they were doing so good together, I
I
mean.
don't know. I guess to bring in turmoil. I don't know
I
what's
don't know
gonna
what's going
happen
on
there.
because like now where does that leave the Divas match for WrestleMania? I mean what's gonna happen? Where are the rest of the Divas? What's going on with them?
Yeah. And then you had Dean Ambrose and R-Truth in a tag team versus Stardust and Luke Harper. What I thought was a pretty fun match. It was fun. That's that's what I can
Didn't
put
they
it.
have like a really huge like 10-man or I don't know, it was 5-on-5 or 6-on-6 tag match also. It was
No. That was at the end. It wasn't. It was like more like a just
it was like a
everybody's gonna
pre-battle
come in.
royal thing,
It was like
right?
gonna be like everybody's coming into the ring. Oh no, what chaos! Find out what's gonna happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they usually do.
I mean, I guess they split up Luke Harper and Stardust and the other two guys because they left the main event for Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. Because they were. I mean, I don't know if you watched SmackDown this past week, and I think they've been kind of feuding a little off and on
But that was a good
between them.
match. That was a good match.
That was no, they were good matches, and the cool thing about these matches, I think, is that Dolph Ziggler is getting the pin on Daniel Bryan every time. Daniel Bryan's already lost twice to Ziggy Smalls. So.
Do you think this is gonna lead to potential? Do you think this is going to be comeuppance for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? Like, do you think they're teasing, or do you think Ziggler's actually going to win the big one?
I don't know if they're teasing, if these are going to be like the two main guys shooting for that title, because I don't know if it's going to be, Wade Barrett again shooting for that title.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Barrett like won at Mania and then he just lost it the next day.
Yeah, true that, but I mean, we'll see how the Monday after. Usually, the Monday after WrestleMania is pretty hectic. So
yeah, that I'm actually looking forward to that Monday Night Raw more than WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad to say, guys. WrestleMania, what's happening here? So, what's going on, guys? I want to know what's happening with the storylines and everything like that, because it's a little bit up in the air. I mean, you have Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, which just happened up until a couple weeks ago, maybe like a week ago, basically. So I'm not a fan of late storylines going in.
It just feels like it feels like there aren't any storylines going into this.
There isn't really.
The three biggest storylines that we have right now, half the guys aren't there.
Half the guys aren't there, yeah. Where's The Undertaker? Where's Sting? Sting showed up maybe a few times,
Yeah.
And I didn't even get to hear him talk, because unfortunately he was on the mic, right?
Yeah,
and I missed that.
Sting's not a great promo guy, but he kind of pretty decent one.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, he was from what my friend was telling me, it was that he wasn't, saying there wasn't anything about like, WCW versus WWE or anything like that. He just wants to kick Triple H's butt, and that's it, and end of discussion. So it's not even about like, whose company was better or whatever. Because I mean, think about it. That storyline should have happened 12, 13 years ago.
During the invasion.
During the invasion and all of that. So it's like, why is Triple H even bringing any of this up? It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, what he's getting, like he's trying to ruin my legacy and blah 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 blah. I mean, come on, bro, 13-time world heavyweight champion. You're in the International Sportsman Hall of Fame,
he had a great run in TNA.
There you go. So and of course, Sting, great run in TNA. He did his thing there, and now he's with us with the big dogs. So so it's just really like where's everything going? Because after this match, what's gonna happen with Sting? Is he just there until WrestleMania, and is that it? Is he gonna?
I think it might lead to a Hall of Fame induction next year.
I mean, if that happens, great. I mean, it's very well deserved for a guy like Sting.
Hopefully, we get more Sting programs. Like maybe we could get a final send-off match. Maybe him versus Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting send-off match actually. But I really wish that would have been the match this year.
Yeah.
Actually, I really wish that whether win or lose, either guy,
The thing is, what if
part ways.
They set the stage pretty early on for Triple H versus Sting.
Yeah.
How could they set it up?
Yeah, since when? SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, no, Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, my goodness. So yeah, I mean, for them to go that far back, and that's pretty much like the longest storyline going on from from last year that led up to, you know, I remember back in the day, you know, they would have things like that, you know, storylines that would stretch that long, you know, from, you know, SummerSlam to Survivor Series all the way to WrestleMania, and that's how it should be. I think that's
for The Rock.
They did it for The Rock, you know, but oh man, I miss The Rock so much. I'm sorry to say, you know, I can't wait to see that new Fast 7 movie coming out.
Oh boy,
soon next week, April 3rd, actually, I think, or the week after. But that's gonna be exciting. So kudos to you, The Rock, who's, you know, doing great and making millions and millions of dollars. You know, adding to his fortune. You know, and no other guy like as himself deserves something like that. I mean, you know, I mean, there's wrestlers that go into film and acting, but I think
Vince is just trying to make the prototypical next superstar. That's what he wants with Roman Reigns. Is that he wants another Rock. He wants someone with that crossover appeal, rather than giving it to the guy we know who can do it in Daniel Bryan. I don't know if he wants to do it or not, because I know he's not excited about being a media celebrity.
I don't think I mean, if he doesn't want to do it, and why would he? I mean, he's doing what he loves, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Daniel Bryan is a pure wrestler in and out, you know? I mean, I don't know if he would want to get into things like acting and film like that, but...
The problem is with John Cena, you know, he's too much of a goody two-shoes. He's too much of a clean face.
Yeah.
And then with Roman Reigns, man, that guy just got booed out of the building last night. Like, I know that they were trying to turn down the mics, and apparently the boos were a lot heavier than what they showed through on TV. But if the boos on TV were that loud, can you imagine actually being there in the arena?
It's just ridiculous, you know, and like that should not how the ending of a Raw before WrestleMania should be. I mean, I just had to say, like, the stare down between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
Okay, I just have to ask, what was that at the end?
I don't even get it. Like, it was just a little tug of war.
Here, we're gonna pretend this is the WWE Championship.
All right, here we go. Like, let's not even like punch each other or anything like that.
I was honestly hoping that Brock would F5 Reigns right there.
Yeah, nothing happened. What was the deal with that? Like, I mean, maybe something happened after the show. I don't know, but it was just like each one had a hand on the title.
Yeah.
And, you know, Roman Reigns had a sturdy grip on it, and Brock, you know, didn't expect that, I guess. He expected, you know, I'm the bigger guy. I should be able to pull this away from you.
I don't understand. Like, they're trying so hard to make him win.
It's just so sad.
Did you hear that bit on commentary? They're booing because Reigns doesn't have the title.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, it's over. It's failed.
The match is done with already.
Reigns isn't... The fans don't like Reigns.
They don't, and you know, I hate to see what's going to happen if he does actually win the title. You know,
honestly,
the fans' reaction after WrestleMania.
I think Reigns' career is done. I think his career is done. Like, he's not well received with the fans.
Yeah.
If he wins the title, you know, there's no way he's going to keep it longer than like 3 months.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen.
I think about it though, and I'm just like, well, you know what? What happened if if it was Seth Rollins in that position, or if it was Dean Ambrose, two of the other former members of the Shield?
The thing is, if it was Rollins or Ambrose, it would be accepted by the fans.
I think so. I don't know. I mean, Ambrose probably yes, because he's got that persona going on for him, like the no care attitude, like I'm just gonna do whatever I want.
The thing is, you could also paint it as the authority backing Seth Rollins up until maybe like the last week.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are, there's a bunch of rumors going around that Reigns is going to lose clean to Lesnar, or that Rollins is going to cash in. If they really don't want to give up on Reigns, they want to like fix it. Mm-hmm. We need a WrestleMania 17 style turn, where Rollins is coming out and he tries to cash in, the authority stops him, and they take Reigns as their golden boy.
That would be ridiculous, actually, if Reigns was the golden boy and he turned
authority.
heel.
Yeah,
but
that's the only way to save him.
But I mean, yeah, if they do something like that, what does that say for Rollins, basically? Like, everything that they led up to, like, the whole J&J security, like, really? I'm supposed to like Seth Rollins now, even though I'm super annoyed of him, aside from, everything that's been going on recently, great guy in the ring.
The thing that bothers me is that where do they go with Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins if Rollins turns face?
Exactly, because, Ambrose is the babyface right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they do Ambrose versus Rollins, it's just going to be like good guy versus good guy. I mean, how many...
Because remember,
I don't know.
I don't know if WWE remembers
it's an interesting perspective, though.
But Ambrose hates Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
He still hates him.
He still hates him. I mean, he'll verbally say, they had a good feud going. Their Hell in the Cell match was one of the decent ones, I would say, in the past 5 years, one of the better ones. They left the cell and they got on top and they freaked fans out. It I thought it was one of the better Hell in a Cell matches that they've had, considering they've had like a lot of them in the past couple years.
Considering Hell in a Cell matches had to be toned down because of Mick Foley.
Thanks a lot, Mick Foley, setting the bar really high, and thanks a lot, Undertaker, for brutalizing guys like Mick Foley.
Because they don't want another Mick Foley to happen.
They don't, and and kudos to Mick Foley for putting his body on the line every single match that he did. Showing that he could get hurt out there and still put on a good show, I guess. But what does that say? And we're actually going to talk about injuries in our little upcoming segment here. So you know what?
We are.
We should probably cut to commercial actually before people get tired of us talking about wrestling, because it's been going on for about 30 minutes already here.
All right, we can do this all day.
We can do this all day, but we'll be right back, guys.
All right, guys, stay tuned.
All right, we're still recording, but that's okay. We're still recording, guys. I'm gonna try to get a better angle.
I don't understand what the dude. That ending annoyed me so much.
It was just like, what am I even watching? Unless we can use this.
Dude, it's like you need to keep it sturdy then.
It is sturdy, dude. This thing won't move down at all. Hold on, let's fix this. It should hold. Look, it doesn't really lean back this way. But
right. Well, remember, you're gonna put weight on it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put it a little more towards the end. Tell me what you see there. Is it a good angle there or no?
All right, scooch in. Can you sit? Dude, I'm scared for your Mac.
I think it'll be okay. All right, here we go. Can you guys see it?
Like we should move it a little more this way.
Should we angle it maybe?
Let's see.
All right. Oh, there you go. And the lighting's a lot better there.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't have to cut this. I'm having a good hair day also, you guys.
Good angle, good angle.
But if you guys, this is we're on commercial right now. Not really a commercial, but we do a radio show for our school, the University of Texas Pan American, and we do a radio show live. When I upload this, I'm gonna actually link you guys the our Facebook, our Twitter pages. Right now we only got like 28 likes on Facebook, so if you guys
we have the same amount of followers.
Yeah. So about the same amount of followers on Twitter. But let me actually you know what? I think our Twitter went up actually.
Oh really?
Find out. Yeah, hold on. Our Twitter account went up in views. I just need to switch accounts because I have like 3 freaking accounts on my phone.
Right.
I have to follow one for me, for my review site, and then for this page. So we actually have, I think, a few more likes on Twitter. Let's see. No, never mind. We only have 26 likes on Twitter. So
it's okay. We're building it up. We're building up our brand.
We're building up our brand, the ARMBAR brand. But watch us, guys. If you guys like to hear about wrestling talk, we kind of go a little crazy with it sometimes. We talk about it for about an hour.
We can talk about wrestling
all day.
We can talk about
wrestling all day. We love wrestling. We're watching Wrestlemania this Sunday, so for you guys, that are watching the network and the show, continue watching it. We love.
We should have a Wrestlemania party.
Wrestlemania party. We just need to find Adam Rose's Rosebud, and
Are you working at Wrestlemania?
I actually was scheduled 1 to 10. But I switched with one of my other managers, so I'm actually going to get out at 6 now. So if you want to come by, swing by my apartment.
Sure, we can invite everybody. Like, we can invite Dan, we can invite Javi.
Oh, yeah, you can invite Dan and Javi. That's cool, dude. I just need to clean my room a little bit. But if they're down, because I know they all have the network, they'll probably just chill there. But we have our bell here, guys.
You know when we ring the bell?
You know when we ring the bell, things are going to get serious. So.
All right, we're coming back. 3, 2, 1. And welcome back. We're here for our middle segment. Ring the bell.
We need to do actually a 10 ring thing.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if you want to talk about that right now. Or
all right. So we're gonna get a little serious here for a second.
Yeah, serious segment. Okay.
This past week in a AAA
a few days ago.
Yeah,
actually, it was like 3 days ago.
In a AAA match, Rey Mysterio was undergoing a spot. For Simple 619, he dropped kick a wrestler named by the name of El Hijo del Perro Aguayo Jr. Something happened, a typical move, but landed wrong. Unfortunately, Perro Aguayo ended up falling under ropes wrong, and then later on, and they ended up passing away.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed away. So our hearts go out to
The family
of him, of course. The promotion itself. I mean,
it's been having a rough week.
It's been having a rough week, and
being rained out and
scrutinized, I'm sure. And I watched the video. I didn't see the match live. I have a friend that watches all that stuff live, and oh my gosh, the
video when you have Conan just there shaking.
Yeah, you could tell right off the bat that once Conan started shaking him and that he wouldn't break out of it, it was just like wow. And you really have to, it's not for the faint of heart. If you get queasy with stuff like that, don't watch it. But this guy, it was very routine. I want to say what happened to him, especially if you guys watch Rey Mysterio, you're gonna know that he sets the way he sets anyone up for the 619. Ooh, hold on, let me try to fix him this really quick.
He's a very safe worker. Not to say anything, but.
I mean,
it goes to show that even the simplest moves can go wrong.
Yeah, even and guys like Rey Mysterio who have been in and out of injury for the better part of the last 5 years. Also, he knows what to do, especially when he's setting some up for something like that. Because the guy's a high flyer, that's why. So he always has been. So unfortunately, like this guy, what happened is Rey Mysterio drop kicked him, and he landed. I don't know if it's when he hit the ropes or if it was when he got hit.
Well, I think what happened was that he sustained some earlier injuries.
It was whiplash, yeah. Someone had said something about, or I had read an article about whiplash.
I think what happened is that he sustained some injuries earlier in the match.
And then he fell out of the ring, and then he got back in. He was already dazed, apparently.
Yeah, and then once he fell on the ropes, it was just...
Yeah, once he fell. But apparently what happened is the drop kick, and I don't know if it caused whiplash, but the whiplash caused the stroke, and he had a stroke. That's what happened. And they couldn't get him out of it. Unfortunately, if you guys know what a stroke is, it's a brain hemorrhage, basically. If something like that happens, and you lose a lot of blood because you're bleeding internally on the inside. So it's a very serious thing. As fans, we don't want to see wrestlers get hurt. We are aware.
We just want to see him pass away.
We don't want to see him pass away. Things like this don't normally happen. When was the last time someone died from doing something in the ring?
There was a lot like Hayabusa unfortunately got paralyzed in the ring.
Yeah. Who else? Draws or whatever.
Draws. The most famous example I can think of.
Yeah, I guess the biggest one that we would have to talk about was his own Hart, but that wasn't even a wrestling thing. It was just a freak accident. He was setting up.
It could happen to anybody.
It could happen to anyone. So for people that like to bash on wrestling and say this is fake, all this, but you know what? If it's so fake, why are people dying? People can die in the ring. These guys are trained, professionally trained to do these stunts, but things can go wrong, and people need to realize that it's very serious. And like I said, my heart goes out to the family. I'm just,
my heart goes out to Rey Mysterio as
well.
I'm sure you must be feeling awful about that.
To be honest, ever since the whole Eddie Guerrero thing with him, you can tell that he's a very emotional guy.
Very.
Aside, from his family, I know this guy has a passion for the business. He loves everything about it. And
what happened was
it was just a freak accident, and you can see his facial expression at one point when they tried finishing off the match, because even when the guy was on the floor and they were trying to resuscitate him in the ring, they were still trying to finish the match.
Yeah,
and
you could tell trying to entertain the crowd.
You can tell the other guys were just trying to finish off the match, and like Rey Mysterio, you can see his expression once the match ended. What was seriously going on.
What's unfortunate is that this isn't the first time someone's died in the ring in AAA. It's happened before.
It's happened before, and you know what? Maybe it'll, I guess, get them to start looking at things differently. Maybe that's why the WWE is so PG now. I want to say because of accidents like these. Maybe they don't want something like this to happen.
It wasn't even that about the PG or anything. It's just that this is just a routine move that just went wrong.
It was a routine. You know what? I don't think my mic's on actually. Hold on. There you go. Well, I don't know if it's my mic or your mic, but anyway, they can still hear me. My mic, I'm right here. But I don't. It's just you can't wrap your head around it. You can think about all the different scenarios that could have prevented something like this. Prevention is the key word, because if he had already sustained an injury prior to him getting drop kicked, why wouldn't he say anything? These guys are out there for the fans,
Yeah.
to put on a great show, obviously.
The thing
but
is, like, once you're suffering from whiplash, once all that happens, he probably could have been very confused as to.
yeah, he might have not known like what was going on at that point, and he just out of
You have to think of it like a concussion,
yeah,
anything could.
And it's basically just out of of instinct that he just gets back in the ring, of course, not knowing that how hurt he was possibly, because for something like that to be triggered, strokes don't just happen, obviously. Something triggers them also. So like I said, that whiplash, he could have had a blood clot somewhere in his neck, something, or I don't know where, but the guy could have had a blood clot somewhere, and maybe that triggered it, and from there his stroke happened. So maybe it'll open the promotion's eyes to maybe get these guys more medically cleared for matches like that. I mean, since those matches are a lot different than what you see in the WWE. I mean, these guys are everywhere. So I mean, the promotion's getting bigger from what I know. I mean, shoot. I mean, my friend says he loves it. I mean,
but, you're gonna have the AAA title defender Lucha Underground.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Do you have any, I guess, final comments and words to talk about, I guess, on that, man? Other than the fact that wrestlers do get injured.
Well, I just have to say that what happened was really unfortunate.
Really unfortunate, yeah.
Our thoughts go out to the families of all those involved, including Bray Wyatt and Rey Mysterio and all. And I really have to commend the AAA Foundation right now, the AAA wrestling promotion right now, for handling the situation so well and as well as he can, because it's just been a really unfortunate week with their shows being rained out.
Yeah.
And wrestlers getting injured, and then this happening. It's hard. It's really hard for the.
It's very hard, yeah. Right, and I'm honestly surprised it's not, I guess, more in the media. Well, here in the States, I guess, because the accident happened in Mexico. That's why. So but it's all over social media. Any wrestling fan, if you have a Twitter account, if you have a Facebook account, I mean, they posted it. It's online.
So I commend AAA for handling this as well as they can.
Kudos to them, and Conan, I guess he's the one helping run the promotion. So I mean, kudos to them, and just our hearts go out to the wrestlers and their families for something like that to happen. So
it's really unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate, but let's go ahead and I guess get to another commercial before we finish our show here. We've got about 20 minutes, guys. So right now we'll get back to WWE talk. Maybe talk a little bit about NXT, guys, and what's going on there. So So we'll be right back once Isaac finds a song here. So here we go.
All right, stay tuned, guys.
Gangnam Style, sorry, I hate to laugh after a bit like that, but
I know.
Let's do our 10-ring salute to the man that passed away.
Rest in peace, Beto Wyatt.
Yeah. So, coming up, guys, NXT talk and a lot of cool things. I mean, more WrestleMania talk. What are we going to talk about, guys? Shoot, I don't know.
All right, well, I thought we were going to go into a whole conversation about wrestlers who got injured in the ring.
We could totally do that also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll change that up a little bit.
Yeah,
we can do that. We'll talk about wrestling injuries.
Little segment here.
Yeah, and then we'll try to get our last couple minutes and final thoughts about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because WrestleMania is just like, it's so frustrating this year. Hey, look, they moved the BRTV thing here.
Oh, hey,
maybe I just never noticed it.
Well, I know we're moving to a new station, like downstairs.
Oh, really? Are they setting that up finally?
Yeah. Dude, did you hear about what happened?
Yeah.
We're getting a new boss here for Front Radio, and they're gonna change the name.
For who?
I don't know, but apparently it's some lady from Brownsville.
You're right. I know that they were having meetings, that's why, and that they're going to change the name also, I think.
It's like one from Vaquero Radio or somewhere, like Rancho.
That's so ghetto, though. With this, I wish I could just stop this. Technically, I can, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could just, like,
you can just edit it.
Yeah. Well, it's being uploaded to YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
YouTube, how's it going, YouTube?
Hello.
We're not on live, though.
No, we're not.
Our live broadcasts are a little different, though. Maybe we can do something along the line of a live
broadcast. Okay, this is going to be a lot
better
better quality than our live broadcast because it's recorded.
Yeah, look at that. I like the lighting. I like how, like, when I get out of the shot, it turns dark, and then look. You see that or no?
Yeah, see it.
That's so weird. When
It's
you get
because
out
I'm
of the
so
shot.
pale.
We're so white. Look at that. I don't know how that goes.
It's okay, guys. I don't go out in the sun.
Yeah, but like I said, guys, follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com. It's going to be /UTPA armbar.
Yeah.
And then same thing on Twitter, UTPA armbar. Usually we post out tweets because we do live hangouts, but this week we're not doing a live hangout. I'm hoping that my MacBook doesn't die. We're at 92% right now. So
oh boy.
I'm hoping this is still recording, and I don't know if it's saving to the YouTube servers or if it's saving to my.
I mean, if it's saving to your MacBook, that's really convenient.
It is, but we'll see how that goes.
You know, we're just shooting. We're just kind of like going as we go.
We're winging it today, guys. Yeah, but talking about wrestling injuries. Who do you want to note though? Injury.
We could definitely talk about Owen Hart.
Owen Hart.
And Steve Austin. You know, wrestlers' careers got changed after they got injured.
Yeah, definitely. Steve Austin. I know Shawn Michaels had a series of
that led to his career. And we are back. Hello.
Welcome back to Armbar, guys. Yeah.
So, stemming off here from what was going on here, the conversation, we are now going to talk about wrestlers who've been injured in the ring.
Yeah, wrestlers who've been injured in the ring, guys. And, since we were talking about earlier in our segment about,
Paraguayo.
Yeah, I can't even say his name, sorry. I'm not that Mexican, but
Okay.
but the guy, unfortunately had a, fatal accident in the ring. But, we have to realize that, although, wrestling, is scripted and a lot of these guys do get hurt, I mean, like let's give some big names out there, for instance.
Like Steve Austin,
SummerSlam
Austin. 97, I think.
Yeah.
Versus Owen Hart. I think Hart accidentally dropped him on his neck after he did a tombstone, and that.
I think it was more. I don't know if it was an accident or if he just positioned him wrong, and it just kind of happened. But I mean, because from what I've read, Stone Cold thinks that Owen Hart did it on purpose.
No, I mean,
but
why would Owen do it on purpose?
Like, I don't know, but I mean, it was a pile driver gone wrong basically, and Steve's head was sticking out too much than it should have been, and the guy pretty much broke his neck.
Yeah.
And he was out. I don't know how he even won the title. I don't know how he even managed to get up and roll Owen Hart up for a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, like he says on his documentary, you look in his eyes, eyes are there, but nobody's home.
Exactly. So I mean that's a career-ending injury, guys. Some people don't realize that, but Stone Cold was barely, he was barely getting his, I guess push back then around
honestly,
that time.
I think that was the height of Austin's popularity.
Yeah, I feel like it was. Yeah, I think like without Owen Hart, that his popularity probably wouldn't have been as big. Because he feuded with a lot of great guys. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, The Undertaker. Everybody basically he fought against.
But if you notice, after that injury, Austin's style changed a lot.
It did. He got less aggressive.
It got more
brawling type, and I guess less technical, I guess, but
because he used to be a great technical wrestler.
And going off an injury like that, it's just it changes you, and it's not just the neck injury. Okay, Austin was plagued with knee injury after knee injury. The guy had to wear knee braces on both knees because he had bad knees. Of course he was out. I mean. And if you ever watch feuds with, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, they attacked his knees like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah, like they played that up.
They played it up so hard. And, that to me, that's what made wrestling a little more real back then, I guess, is that, psychology, in-ring psychology with, the actual opponents and getting to their weak points, For Austin, it was his neck and his knees, and wrestlers took advantage of that.
Honestly, I see that a bit today with Daniel Bryan, like them playing up
a little bit with his neck injury, yeah. Like, I mean, if you watch him get suplexed, Michael Cole will be yelling, "Oh, look at how he got suplexed, his neck,"
His
like
injured neck.
his injured neck, after it took him like 7 or 8 months to rehab
And
after
I'm surprised
surgery.
they didn't play that up. If he ever feats with Brock Lesnar, of course.
I don't know if that'll
They can play up the German suplexes.
You can think about that, yeah. And Daniel Bryan, he's the underdog, so much like Stone Cold was back then, if you think about it.
Yeah, but like Daniel Bryan got injured too. I don't know what it was exactly, but I think it was something after his stinger with Randy Orton. Remember that stop that match?
I don't remember actually. No.
It was a match that he had with Randy Orton. He fell, and then I think he suffered some nerve damage. They had to stop that match.
Yeah.
The next week they had a match, but Bryan was losing strength in his arm, so he had to drop the title, unfortunately.
Yeah, and of course he had to leave and just give away the title, but he never lost the championship, which is a little upsetting, and we're still a little upset that he's not headlining WrestleMania this year. But I mean, for an injury like that, and guys like that to mess up nerves in the neck, and then unfortunately like to lose, movement in their arms. Let's refer to a guy like Edge, for instance.
Yeah.
Edge had to retire because he had neck injuries. Also, he had broken his neck early in his career, right?
Yeah.
And
I think it was against Guerrero.
Probably so, right? So, this guy, who did a lot of great things, an 11-time world champion, multiple-time tag team champion, intercontinental champion. He pretty much did everything. And a guy like him to retire as early as he did, at his age, he was a young guy. He was young. About John Cena's age, maybe like mid-30s, right? Early mid-30s. So
I mean, he's older than Cena.
A little older, but he still had a lot. I feel like he retired too young, and luckily for him, he was able to headline WrestleMania one last time, and
Wasn't
finish
the opening match?
I don't recall. I don't think I remember him being the opening match. I know there was a couple of years where they opened the WrestleMania with the world title. I mean, I know they did that with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, and maybe the year prior it was somebody else, but I don't think it was Edge. I think Edge's match was towards the end, right before the WWE title match. But going from that, guys like Edge who were forced to retire basically because the guy could basically be paralyzed right now.
Yeah,
if he wasn't.
I think if I read correctly, is that how do you take? There was a risk that if he had taken just like one more bump, he could be paralyzed from.
He could be paralyzed from, and luckily, he had great doctors, and and the guy probably could have wrestled, but I think it was to a point where Vince McMahon told him like, no, you can't do it.
Yeah, I remember he had a phone call with Steve Austin and said, if I wouldn't recommend that you wrestle because I remember Steve Austin said something along the lines because he has the same injury, spinal stenosis.
Yeah.
That if he could go back, he wouldn't wrestle.
He wouldn't. I don't think so either. I mean, and you know what? I think Austin pushed it as long as he could, and luckily for Edge, I guess he was able to catch it before anything worse happened. But these guys do have to retire forcible retirement because of injuries, guys. So I mean, people don't realize that as fake as wrestling is, these guys do get injured, they do get hurt, they do get sidelined. Triple H. Let's talk about Triple H for instance.
Tore both his quads.
And they weren't far apart. It wasn't far apart, and you can really tell the first time that he did it. I remember watching that match live when he tore his quad the first time. Yeah. And you just saw him fall. I could tell right off the bat, like, no, this guy, you don't just fall like that after a simple move like the one that he does. You can tell he hurt himself.
What's crazy is that he finished that match.
He finished that match, and
he took a wall to Jericho.
Yeah.
Which is, that must be killer on the quads
too. It must be. Oh my gosh, I could not tell you. Yeah, I mean Triple H has so much in him, to go out and do that to his body,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but the guy rehabbed. He came back better than ever a couple of times, and he, won championship after championship after championship, which is great for him in his career.
Yeah.
But these guys do get hurt. He was sidelined. Luckily, he was able to come back from these injuries and not get more hurt. I mean, Brock Lesnar broke his arm a couple of times, but I don't know what's going on with that. That was just kind of a.
It was just funny because he broke his arm twice.
There are fake injuries out there
of
also,
course.
Guys. So don't forget about that. Don't forget that wrestlers do fake injuries to, sideline themselves for different reasons.
And then, Hunter came back with a shaved head.
Yeah, and we all miss long hair Triple H, but I mean these guys do get injured, and they're on the road so many days out of the year, maybe like 250 days out of the 300. some days out of the year. They're constantly traveling. You know, they're not home every day like all of you guys are to recover. You know, when they're doing one match and they finish a show, they leave.
Stay in shape.
They have to stay in constant shape. They're constantly having to be in the limelight, unfortunately. And you know they don't get the full time to rest and recover like you know like if we were to break a leg, you know we don't get to stay at home and they don't get to stay at home, you know, but they have to get surgery immediately. They have to take care of it so they can you know be back in the ring 6 months.
I think remember Cena's injury when he came back to the Royal Rumble? He was expected to be out like 6 months.
Was that his arm or his Achilles? Because I remember he tore his Achilles also.
Yeah, he's supposed to be out for almost a year. He came back in like 2 months.
Yeah, that was actually a surprise when he rehabbed that so quickly to me because I don't think that Cena should have. You know, and it was a surprise when he did come back at the Royal Rumble that year. What was he, number 30 that year?
Yeah, he was number 30. But, and then Triple H was just like, what?
Yeah, everyone was freaking out. I think I remember watching that Rumble live also, and I was just like, what? John Cena? That guy's supposed to be hurt. Like,
yeah.
And you know, like, not to put him down, you know, we don't like to see wrestlers sidelined like that, but you know, I mean, because we're John Cena haters. I'm a John Cena hater. I'm not gonna lie.
I like Cena. I like Cena. I just wish he'd change his character.
I like his aggressive character. Like right now with Rusev, I like that he's been really aggressive. I like Cena at his best when he was feuding against Edge, basically. I don't know why. I think Edge brought out the best in John Cena.
I think Edge is like the best rival because I know they try to play up like you know Orton's his best rival or whatever. No.
Yeah. No,
you know, when I remember Cena, I remember you know him throwing Edge into the Long Island Sound and all that.
Yeah, that was fun to watch, and it you know made you reminisce about like The Rock and Stone Cold doing bits like that as well. So I mean, going back to injuries, I mean, aside from John Cena, Triple H, you know, we got to throw out names like Bret Hart. I want to talk about Bret Hart for instance. I remember one of the first wrestling matches I watched, and I don't, you know, I'm the type of wrestling fan that back in the day when they had VCRs, I would go and check out. They would have wrestling tapes at you know the local rental places, you know, and they would have pay-per-views. Like they would record the pay-per-views and they would put them out like for people to rent, or you can purchase them. Obviously, they still do that, but now it's DVD. And on the WWE network. But basically, you know. Bret Hart, I remember watching the match. I don't remember who he was fighting against. I don't know if it was like Sid Vicious or Vader or something like that.
Wait, is the first time he got injured or like before he retired?
It was way before he retired. This was like maybe like mid-90s, 94, 95.
I think it was probably against Sid.
I think it was Sid, but he basically, I don't remember what happened. He broke a collarbone or something during a match.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you could tell right off the bat, like when he crawled out of the ring, he would not get up. Like literally didn't get up. Like he was just on the floor for a long, long time, you know. So you know these guys do get hurt, and it's something to remember for anyone that's watching out there. That you know you need to take wrestling as entertainment, but these guys do physical, you know, do a lot of physical work. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
And speaking of Sid Vicious, I don't know if you remember, but I think it was
Did he break his leg or something?
Yeah, he broke his leg.
He broke his leg.
He came off the top rope, and then you just see. Just think of it like kind of like a pencil. Here's what you heard.
Oh man, no, I don't even want to. Ugh. I didn't watch that pay-per-view. I know that was when he was in WCW, right?
Yeah.
I think it was in his WCW days, but I can't believe he just broke a pencil on air.
I had a pencil on air.
Poor pencil, poor tree that had to die for you to break that pencil. But you know, these guys do get hurt. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens.
I think the best example can be someone like Draws.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Beyond the Mat, but he shows up, you know, he comes like, he's gonna puke, because, you know, he can puke on command.
That was just disgusting. I remember watching that a few times. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch this, you know.
Yeah,
I was a kid, though.
You've seen Beyond the Mat? It's a good movie.
Oh, well, you know, if it's not on Netflix, I've probably seen it.
You can get it on YouTube.
You know what, right now, actually, I think ESPN's working on a documentary for wrestling, so ESPN 60 is working on something, so that's coming up. I can't wait to see that, But yeah, I mean, I think I've seen somewhere along the lines of that, bits and pieces of it at least. But go ahead and explain it to our fans here.
But yeah, you know, Draws, you know, comes in. He just comes into the system. I guess he'd been in the Indies for a while. He's just been training. Caught the eye of Vince McMahon. And then he comes in. He's like, oh, my gimmick is I can puke on command. And then Vince takes out this bucket, and then he's just like, you're going to puke? You're going to puke? He's going to puke! He's going to puke! Like that. And then,
I love your friends and Brad. It's hilarious.
Make Reigns look strong.
Make Reigns look strong.
But yeah, he just goes in and like he pukes, and then you know, Jaw's got a career in WWE. Unfortunately, what happened is that he was in a match against D'Lo Brown. Uh, Brown slipped, and then I guess he slipped on his T-shirt or whatever, and then he ended up dropping Jaws like straight up on his head, and then Jaws got paralyzed from the neck down. I mean, apparently he's regaining some movement and feeling, but you know, you don't just get right back up from that.
You know, I mean, people that have neck injuries, it's very serious, and I've been paying more attention to matches now, and what I watch and how delicate someone's neck is, you guys don't realize, but these guys are basically putting their life on the line every time they get into the ring,
Yeah.
male or female. You know, the ladies go out there, and every high risk maneuver that you see is something that's practiced and dealt with many times.
Yeah.
But there's that one instance
It
where
could just be, you know,
it could go wrong,
and it's not intentional at all. Like, you know, I remember, this is a really bad example, but there was this one SmackDown. It was Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly, and
Whoa, that's gotta be a long time ago. SmackDown with Brock Lesnar. What?
Yeah. But what happened was that Brock Lesnar, Hardcore Holly was like, I'm not going to respect this kid. You know, he doesn't respect me. He's a new kid. I'm going to show him what for. He tried sandbagging a powerbomb, I think. And what ended up happening is that Brock accidentally ended up dropping him, and Hardcore Holly broke his neck.
Broke his neck, guys.
He broke his neck in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
And I know that's happened before with like Sabu and everything, but this is like one of the pure intents where it was just malicious intent from Hardcore Holly. He was going to make this guy look bad, and unfortunately he paid with his neck. He ended up coming back when he did retire a few years later.
He did, and I know he's probably helping out with the developmental now.
Is he?
I think so, yeah. I mean, well, he would come out like on Tough Enough and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Man, I remember that show. He would just beat the crap out of anybody on that show.
I love watching Hardcore Holly. He was honestly him and Crash. They were one of my favorite tag teams back in the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, watching them, was something back in the early Attitude Era days. But I mean, like injuries like that can end careers, and that's what you guys need to understand. And that's what I'm hoping that a lot of people start to realize one of these days that and I'm going to keep repeating myself throughout this entire bit is that these guys can get hurt, but their careers can end. And you know what? It's just like any other sport, NFL. Once these guys are out of jobs, what do? This is their passion.
The DDP once said, you think wrestling is fake, but you can't fake gravity.
Can't fake gravity. You can't. So. I guess we're gonna find. We got about a couple minutes here. We're gonna end our show with final thoughts on what's leading up to WrestleMania. Do you have any favorite matches leading up on Sunday's lineup here?
I mean, I honestly don't. I guess I can look forward to the ladder match. I'm a little scared of Bryan right now because his neck situation and all that. I don't know if he's fully recovered. I don't know if they're playing that up. I just hope that Bryan doesn't have to do any heavy spots because coming fresh off a neck injury like that is scary. And
the fact that they're using ladders, these guys are going to be thrown off ropes every 2 seconds and thrown off ladders. So, so to see them, and we saw what happened with this, El Hijo de, can't even say his name.
Yeah, Pero Aguayo.
Pero Aguayo. This guy, he just landed wrong. Simple wrestling setup, and something like that to happen. So we have to. Keep an eye out and hope that nothing happens to any of these guys. I mean, we've seen plenty of TLC ladder matches throughout the years. Wrestlers have gotten injured, Christian, Edge, guys like that to that extent.
I'm surprised that the Hardys have never been injured.
They've been very, very lucky, I guess.
Like, how is
Matt Hardy?
I'm surprised Jeff Hardy isn't dead.
I mean, with the way he is, considering all the high-flying moves that he's done. I mean, the guy's jumped off 25-foot ladders, and he's done it all, and the guy is, I guess, the cat. He's got 9 lives. So I guess my favorite, my match that I do want to see is that ladder match. It's the Intercontinental 7-way title match. I want to see what's gonna happen.
What about Triple H versus Sting?
Triple H versus Sting. I'm not really too hyped up about it because I haven't really seen Sting in action for the better part of 10 years. I did watch him a little bit in TNA. But I don't really know what he can do anymore.
People remember him for accidentally hitting his head on the ladder.
Yeah, and I remember Sting in WCW, doing the Stinger Splash and all these little moves. Him carrying around the baseball bat. But as far as wrestling goes, I mean, I guess we'll wait and see, what him and Triple H can put on for us. Because these guys, they're older guys.
I think Sting is.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, what's funny is that he's only a year younger than Arn Anderson.
Oh wow! And Arn Anderson, we remember him. He had to retire. He had a career-ending injury also. I think it was his neck also. where and he was one of my favorite wrestlers back then. Oh my gosh, I can get into matches with Arn Anderson, him and Dean Malenko.
Oh man,
those were great matches. And oh my gosh, to see careers end like that. These were wrestling guys that were wrestlers that just knew how to do it in the ring. So going
Did
back,
Anderson and Steamboat ever have a match together?
They might have in the early WCW. Hold on, I gotta put in the password, but let me fix this really quick. It's still recording though, I think. But I mean, these guys are all legends, of course, all Hall of Famers. But I mean, I guess any Hall of Fame induction ceremony things that you want to look forward to.
I guess I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Macho Man finally get inducted, getting the credit he deserves. I don't know if the Poffo family is going to be there in its entirety, but
yeah,
hopefully we see something from them. And then I guess I'm kind of sort of looking forward to Great Moots. No, Great Moots. I'm sorry, been inducted. Who's getting inducted this year?
Alundra Blaze, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh man, Arnie's gonna have a hilarious speech. If it's on the level of Mr. T's speech.
Who else? We got the Bushwhackers also, I think.
Yeah.
I saw the pic yesterday they posted on WWE when they were showing the show, and there was one guy that stuck out to me, and I was like, "What? This guy's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame?" But I can't remember. I can't remember the name, but I guess we'll get into that next week's show, or maybe this Thursday show if we're able to get a show on Thursday, guys. So. Thank you all for listening. Of course,
thank you all so much for watching here on YouTube.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/UTPA ARMBAR, and on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube, WWE_ARMBAR. Obviously set the Facebook.com one. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching here on YouTube. And remember, Bronx, heel or face, real Bronx never tap. Thanks for listening.